Hey, what's up YouTube? This is Tien, and I'm bringing you a beginner guide on how to play the Lightning Archon Wizard, also known as the Mantled Heel Wizard. I'm going to be going over kind of the beginner stuff, and then I'm going to post a video for the more advanced stuff. So the first thing I want to talk about are the skills. In this particular build, we are using Arcane Torrent Static Discharge. I put it on my left mouse button. Blizzard Snowbound on my right mouse button. And then our 1 is Archon Combustion. Our 2 is Magic Weapon Deflection. Our 3 is Teleport Calamity. And our 4 is Energy Armor, Force Armor. If you want to pause the video to see my skills, it's right here. You can also see my passives, which are Evocation, Power Hungry, Paralysis, and Unstable Anomaly. There is a little bit of wiggle room with the build, which I'll go into a little bit later when I get into the gear. But basically you can replace Teleport with Black Hole, and you can change around your Magic Weapon to Force Weapon if you want to deal a little bit more damage. If you're doing faster content. The next thing I want to talk about are stats and Paragon points. Our Paragon points in our core, we basically want to get enough move speed to get 25% move speed. I have no move speed on any of my gear, like my boots, for example. So I have all of my Paragon into movement speed, and then the rest goes into intelligence. In offense, in order of importance, it's cooldown reduction, attack speed, crit hit damage, and crit hit chance. In defense, our things that matter the most are armor, resist all, life, and then life regeneration. And in utility, it'd be resource cost reduction, life per hit, area damage, and then gold fine last. Okay, after that, let me talk about the gear. So our gear basically revolves around getting 4-piece veers and 6-piece towels. I have below some different setups on ways to get veers and towels. So it's a pretty flexible build, which is nice. So if I say I wanted to use the towels gloves and the veer helm, that's perfectly fine here. I still maintain my 4-piece veers and 6-piece towels. It just allows you to use your better piece of gear that you get in that way. So, veers pants, and then I would need to put on towels gloves. Again, I maintain my 4-piece veers and 6-piece towels. The other pieces of gear that you need are these 3 rings that I have below: the Ring of Royal Grandeur, the Obsidian Ring of the Zodiac, and the Mantled Heel Ring. You want 2 of them to be worn and then 1 of them in the cube. The Ring of Royal Grandeur rolls kind of with the worst stats, which is why I put this one in the cube. The other ones have, can roll with really good stats. It's hard to get a really good one sometimes, but I managed to roll some pretty decent ones. The belt is Fazula's Improbable Chain, and you really want to get 50 Archon stacks in the passive. If you notice in the gold text, you automatically start Archon with 40 to 50 Archon stacks. You really want that 50. My belt's not perfect, it's only 49. And then this combined with our Swami in the cube lets us keep Archon stacks outside. It's worth noting that if I wanted to take off my Tal helm and put a Swami on me and then the Tal belt, that can be done too. So, if you're using a Swami, you want to make sure you get that 20 seconds on your helm. And if you're using the belt, you want to make sure you get the 50 Archon stacks when you're wearing the belt. So yeah, if I were to use the Swami helm, I would switch my cube then to use the belt in the cube. So I think you guys get it. For my bracers, I use Ashignar's Blood Bracers, which works with my Magic Weapon Deflection and keeps my shields high, and I get double the shields. My weapon is an ancient pig sticker. It doesn't have to be ancient, but you want these stats. You want cooldown reduction, increased attack speed. As far as my stat prioritizations, I'm going to have a link to my guide in the description of the video, and you'll see what I prioritize on each of the gear elements. So, most of the time, a good rule of thumb is like crit hit damage, cooldown reduction, and attack speed are really important with this build. The build revolves around having a ton of attack speed, and a bunch of damage multipliers, which I'll talk about here when I talk about the gems. So the 3 gems that I'm using are Zay's Stone of Vengeance, Bane of the Stricken, and Bane of the Trapped. Zay's lets you deal more damage from range. Stricken lets you deal more damage the more you attack someone. And then Trapped is just straight up damage multiplication. It's probably the most OP gem in the game. Most builds use it. I have some alternative to the gear below. So if you're doing fast stuff, you can put on Nemesis bracers and you don't need the survivability. You can use Inguion to have your Archon cooldown even faster, and then you can use Gogok of Swiftness over Bane of the Stricken to do even faster Archon, so you can have 100% uptime on your Archon as long as you're killing elites and stuff. This bracer alternative, and this is what I was talking about earlier, if you want to use Rancer's Folly, it pulls all enemies in when you use Energy Twister. So instead of using Blizzard Snowbound, I would use Energy Twister Mistral Breeze, and I would use, instead of Teleport Calamity, I would use Black Hole Spellsteal. And enemies get pulled into your Energy Twister and pulled into your Black Hole. And then when you switch into Archon, you'll be dealing a whole bunch of damage to them. This is kind of the end of the basic video stream. I'm going to go into more advanced stuff in my advanced video, which will go over things like positioning, preparing for your time inside and outside of Archon, your mercenary, when to skip mobs, and what to do in higher GRs. So thanks for tuning into the video, and check out the advanced one if you want that information. Thanks.